Hey, how's everybody doing? My name's Coupe and I'm back. First thing out the gate, I'm giving you a couple of gameplays, two gameplays where I had like a really beastie beginning, and then in both games the host migrated, which ended up fucking up the game. Especially the second one, the host migrated and the connection went from like really amazing to complete shit. So I got really displeased with that. I'll tell you that because both of the games were I went 33 and 2 in this one and 33 and 3 in the other one. Or vice versa, I can't remember. And I don't know. I got some really beast gameplays tonight. That is not my C4. I'm not good at C4. But um, I wanted to give you guys a commentary, partly because I haven't done one on a topic about myself in a long time. So I figured I would give you a topic about my pool history, my love for pool, where, um, what the game of pool, billiards, 9 ball, 8 ball, snooker. There's so many different types of pool. Where it became a love of my life. Well, for a while, anyways. I still really, I really enjoy it. There's it. Something happens when you play a lot of pool and you play. I'll get into that later on. All right, starting out the gate. Um, when I was younger, my dad had a pool table. Like he had it when I was like an infant, and it wasn't like a slate table. And I don't know if you know what slate is. There's like cheap ones that are like made out of rock, or they're made out of wood, and it warps over time through just wear and tear, moisture, whatever. And then there's slate, and slate is a stone, and it doesn't warp. And it usually comes in a couple of pieces. It causes the table to be a lot heavier. It's harder to move, etc., etc. And so, anyways, my dad had one of the wooden ones, so it warped over time, and so when the funny thing is actually, so he had that when I was an infant, and then he stored it at his sister's house, my aunt's house, and from there she had a dog, and the dog pissed all over the pool table. So the board that was the base for the pool table had dog piss all over it. So we had to fucking toss it. It had the pool felt on it and everything. And then so we got it back, and the only thing he could keep was the side rails, the rims, and the frame. He had to get rid of the board and the felt. The felt is the cloth that goes over the top of the pool table. And we moved into a place where he could fit it. So he got it all back, and he here's the host migration. Um, so he bought it all so he could fit it in the apartment. So we bought new felt, and he bought a new board. He just bought chipboard, so it was another board that was able to be warped. And over time, it kind of does. There's nothing you can do about it. You can flip the board upside down again to try and warp it backwards, but it's gonna warp. It's wood. Moisture gets to it. It's irrelevant. So, and that happened when I was about grade 5. So what are you, 10? 10, 11? I started playing pool then, and I started getting into it, and just little bits here and there, not too much. I actually knew a couple of guys that were another kid that had a pool table, and he played it a little bit more, I think. His, anyways. And then I moved out into a farm. I've always had like a fun playing pool. It was like if one of my parents ever took me to like those pubs slash not really bars, but anyways those places that had pool tables. I always got them to play me a game. I always enjoyed the pool. And then we moved into the on a farm. We moved on a farm for a year out in Nillerton. It's 45 minutes outside of London where I live, and it just there was nothing to do out there. There was a few things I had a little motorcycle, and anyways, there wasn't that much to do. So what I did is I spent a lot of my time playing pool. They set up the pool table in the garage, and I would go out there. Even in the winter, I would go out there and play. And for a while there, I was playing like an hour every day. Play like 3 or 4 games by myself of normal, practicing, and then I would try trick shots and etc. etc. and just started getting good. And at that time, I was going to the high school I was going to down the street, about a 10-minute walk, was an arcade, and this is where it switches over to the next game. And the arcade, there was pool tables, and there was like 6 of them. And there was when I first started going to that arcade, it was fucking lined up. It was called Ace Arcades. It was lined up for like there was always like a 15-20 minute lineup for you to get a pool table. It was ridiculous. Um, and from there, I started playing, and I got really into it, and I would practice at home, and I would come, and I would just, after 6 months, and we would play for a little change here, $1 a game, $2 a game, and back then, that was a lot of money. That's like, how old was I? I was, I want to say, it was grade 10, so what are you, grade 11, how old are you in grade 11? 13, 14, 15, I think. No, 16, at least. Because grade 12, you're 18. So 16, 17. And so that's over 11 years ago. By the way, I'm an old fucker. 11, 12 years ago. Depends on what I'm going by. Anyways, and so I started playing pool a lot. I played at home. I practiced at home. And then I played at Ace Arcades, and I would play for money, for bus tickets. We would play for anything. You got something that I want, and I got something you want, let's play for it. You know what I mean? And then I got a reputation from, it took me about 6 months, and I got a reputation, and nobody would play me for pool, for anything, nothing. And, I still loved pool, but it kind of faded a little bit, because nobody would play me. There's only one kid that would play me. His name was Vin. And Vinny? Yeah, I think his name was Vinny. Because I always called him Vinegar. He was an Asian kid, and he was really good. He was the only one who really ever gave me a challenge. Anyways, I think that I had more abilities than him, but he was more consistent. I would try for those hard shots, and he wouldn't. You know what I mean? He would play the smart shots. So I pretty much, that was the only kid that would play me for anything. And then from there, so I couldn't play anymore. Nobody would play me. And then couple years later, I would go back to the Ace Arcades every once in a while, and I would see if anybody would play. And there was this kid that was working there, and this kid played. He would play pool, and he started out playing like a couple bucks. I think we played 2, maybe 4 or 5 games for $1 a game each, and he ended up beating me for $4. And this was like later on, so this was when I was like 18, 19, and I was just like, whatever. Actually, it was a little later than that. I was like 20. I was at least 20. And that was all I had in my pocket, and he just wanted to play somebody and put something on the line. So I was like, okay, whatever. I like gambling. He likes gambling. It was nothing. It was change. And so I lost $4 to him. And at the time, I want to say now I did it on purpose, but at the time I can't remember. I probably didn't. I probably was trying, and then he ended up beating me. But then I came back, and I had more money. We played for more money. And we played it like $5 a game, and then it went up and kept going bigger and bigger. And then it was like double or nothing, double or nothing. But I kept winning. I was destroying him. I ended up beating him for like $180 that day. And it was like a week later, 2 weeks later. He was like waiting to play me again. So I played him for the... got the $180 off him, and then I went in the next week, and he was like, "You know what, dude? You got to come down and play pool. I found this pool hall. There's lots of people. They play for lots of money. You should come down and play. We could play partners or something." And I've never had a lot of money, so I was like, I can't afford to play for money that much. And he was like, "I'll spot you So he was the first person to ever spot me. And how it works is when you spot somebody, you spot them up the money. If you lose, they in my situation, if I had lost the game, he would pay for it. And then if I win the game, we split half the winnings. And from there, I did that for a while with him. And then I started saying, all right, you know what, I kind of want to play with my own money now. And because I had kind of, accumulated a large sum of money, and I started playing. And the funny thing is, I'm still friends with that guy till this day. I've been friends with that guy for 9 years. He's one of my closest friends, if not my closest right now, to be honest with you. We went through a little verbal dispute, confrontation about a situation but anyways, that's been solved. Um, so from there, we started playing, and we went down and played in this pool hall, and we started playing in tournaments, and I started getting really good, and then I would play in tournaments at other bars, and I started playing in tournaments all over London, and I started getting really good, started getting even a bigger reputation, and I had a woman that was on my league team that she was in the Hall of Fame for pool for being either winning or playing something to do with pool in Vegas. And she was in the Hall of Fame for it, and which is ridiculous. And she told me if I kept up with it, I could have been a pro. I had that ability. I had that nick for the game, that just natural ability for the game, and she just told me to go for it. And I don't know. I just pussied out. I don't know what to say. Once you play a game for money, you start playing it for money, you lose the love for the game itself, and that was what happened. So once the game died and everybody started playing poker, there was nowhere to play. So I stopped playing, and I didn't want to play for fun anymore. It had to be for money, or else it wasn't worth it. So it ruined playing for money ruined my love for the game, and now I can't play unless it's for money. So that's my story on my love for pool, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And this is Lex Coupe saying, rate, comment, subscribe, do what you do, skadoosh.
This is Lex Coupe. My cat's in heat, so don't forget to follow me on Twitter.